Toyota Time with Timmy the Toolman and Sean. Today we are on location in Napa, California at my buddy Mark's house. What we're going to show you how to do is replace the Uniball joint on a set of aftermarket upper control arms. We're going to show you two ways you can do it. One way is using a specialty tool that you can buy, and we will link in the video description. Another way is using a universal press sleeve kit like this one here. It has a multitude of different size press sleeves. It has these adapter plates that you can put on the sleeves to press whatever you're pressing out and back in. And then it has these threaded rods, which would be synonymous with all thread. So you could use the sleeves without a hydraulic press, or you can use the all thread to do the pressing. So there's two different ways you could use these sleeves. So we're gonna use both of these tools and show you how you can get it done. This tool costs $100. This universal press sleeve kit with all these press sleeves with the all thread and the adapter plates, this currently is about $107 on Amazon. Once we get done showing you both ways, I'm pretty sure you're gonna choose to buy this universal press sleeve kit, because if you have any inclination of doing press work in the future, you're gonna buy a Harbor Freight 20-ton press and you plan on doing wheel bearing jobs and bushing replacements on your control arms, this is the way better value for your money than spending $100 on this. But we'll link both in the video description and you can make your choice on which you're gonna purchase to do this job. Without further ado, we're gonna get out to the rig and we're gonna get started with this job. Mark has the front end jacked up. He has the frame supported on 6-ton jack stands on both sides. And then he's got chocks in the backs of the rear wheels because we are at a slant in his driveway. So in case the parking brake doesn't hold well, the vehicle isn't gonna go anywhere. Now that we have the wheels out of the way, we're gonna disconnect the steering knuckle from the upper control arm. We're gonna put a jack underneath the lower control arm to support the whole assembly here. So when we disconnect it here, the whole assembly isn't gonna flop down. For these all-pro upper control arms, the size of the bolt and nut is 1 1/8 inch. So he's got a breaker bar with a socket on top and an open end wrench on the bottom. He's gonna break that free. Now that he has the bolt broken free with the breaker bar, now he's gonna switch to a ratchet and get it out the rest of the way. He should be able to pull up on the control arm and get it free, and the steering knuckle will just hang there. And again, we have it supported by a jack so it won't flop down. These are the alignment spacers, and sometimes they will be positional. One is meant to go on the bottom, one is meant to go on the top. For these all-pro upper control arms, they're both the same alignment spacer, so no difference between them.
The reason why I wanted to replace these was because you can see the chrome had been peeling here and it started to rust there. I also had some squeaking going on. You can see these Uniballs are pretty loose already. Had them on there for 7 years.
We've got this side disconnected. We're gonna do the same with the other one. Once you get the steering knuckle free of the upper control arm, you might want to do what Mark did. He just used these big strong zip tie to zip tie the knuckle to the front coilover spring so it doesn't flop out and put a lot of pressure on the brake line. Use something like that, a zip tie or a bungee or some baling wire, whatever, just to support the whole assembly so it doesn't put pressure on the ABS line and the brake line. The next thing we're gonna do is remove a C-clip with some internal snap ring pliers. We're first gonna show you using the specialized tool we got, and then on the second side, we'll use the press sleeves and the press sleeve adapters on the second side and show you both ways. Mark figured out that the nut size for this special tool is 1 1/4 inches. So he's going to insert it with the receiving cup on the bottom, because that's the direction it's going to come out. And then he's going to put the driver cup over the top, and then the washer, and then the nut. He's choosing to use 2 sockets with ratchets and drive the Uniball out of the control arm. And he's basically tightening the cups towards each other, driving the Uniball into the receiving cup.
There's little to no force either. You can see the movement. If it starts to bind and pinch, then you know something's wrong.
So you're saying it's not taking much force at all?
Not much force at all.
So it's a press fit, but it's a light press fit. There it is. That was easy. Yeah, I'd say you were due for a replacement. So we're going to clean out the inside of the bore where the Uniball seats, and then we're going to smear some anti-seize in there to help prevent any corrosion over time. So if he ever has to replace the Uniballs again, it's going to be that much easier to drive them out. So get in there with a rag, maybe some brake cleaner, whatever, and clean it out really good. The one thing that you really want to make sure is nice and cleaned out is the groove for the snap ring. Make sure there's no debris in there, so when you come in with the new snap ring, it's going to seat in nice. So Mark's going to lubricate the inside of the bore with some copper anti-seize. He's going to smooth it around with his finger. So now Mark is going to drive in the new Uniball. He first puts on the driver cup, and then he puts the Uniball on, and then the other side is going to have the receiving cup. So he's going to come in from underneath, put the receiver cup on, and then put the washer and the nut on. All right, the Uniball looks like it's pretty square to the control arm. Now he's going to start driving them together with the nuts. And this is going to be a situation where he's going to feel it bind up, letting him know that it's been driven in all the way. You'll easily be able to feel it when it bottoms out.
Same thing, almost little to no force getting it in.
It's cinched up, huh?
Yep, right there.
Okay. And then once he gets the tool disassembled, the fact that we could see the snap ring groove and he can get the snap ring in lets us know that it's fully seated. And I can clearly see the snap ring groove, so I have a feeling that he's going to have no problem getting that new snap ring in. All right, Mark's going to install the new snap ring using the same internal snap ring pliers. And you just want to look to see that it's fully seated in around the whole circumference. If one side's sticking out a little bit, that's an indicator that it's not fully seated into the groove. So it looks good. The way this snap ring is made, it's naturally fatter on the opposing side to the opening. So when you look in there, you're naturally going to see a little bit more material on the opposing side to the opening. So don't let that throw you. So that's just how the snap ring is made. Now we're going to jump to the other side and show doing the press work with my press sleeve kit. I chose 3 press sleeves out of my press sleeve kit to do this job. This one's going to be my receiving cup. And let me give you a measurement just to give you an idea of which one I'm choosing. So the diameter of the receiving cup looks to be 2 9/16 wide. For the driving cups, this one's going to drive the old Uniball out, and the diameter of this one is 1 7/8. And then to drive in the new Uniball, I'm going to use one a little bit wider than this one, and the width of this one is 2 inches. So those are the 3 press sleeves I'm going to use in conjunction with these cups, and then I'm going to use one of the all-thread rods that I have in the kit to drive the cups towards each other. So here's the setup. Puck on the top. This is going to be the driver cup, receiver cup. You have a cup on the bottom, and then Mark's going to use 2 crescent wrenches to tighten them together and drive the Uniball out. It's a lot nicer with a socket, but we're showing you a couple different ways. Does it feel as easy as the second side?
It feels a little bit harder, probably just because
got shorter wrenches.
Yeah, exactly. But there's still almost no resistance there. It's going smooth.
There it is. Okay, so the press sleeve kit worked to drive it out, and then let's see if it's going to work to drive in the new one. Okay, just like before, we lubricated the inside of the bore of the upper control arm with anti-seize, and we have the bigger driver cup, the one that was 2 inches wide, driving the Uniball into the control arm, and then we have the same receiving cup on the top with the puck. So let's see how this goes. Just like Mark said, it's almost like negligible force driving them in. It's pretty easy. It's getting a little harder at the end. There it is. That's tight. As you can see again, we have it fully driven in. We can see the snap ring groove, and Mark's going to install the new snap ring. Boom, goes the dynamite. So we successfully showed that you can use 3 of the press sleeves out of the press sleeve kit, the biggest all thread, and then 2 of the driving pucks, and you can successfully drive the old Uniball out and the new Uniball in using this kit. For this job, we are going to remove the control arms to replace the bushings, but we're not going to show it because we have several videos in existence for removing upper control arms. We have our ToyTec lift video that you can reference because we install some aftermarket upper control arms in that video. We have another video where we are removing OEM upper control arms to replace the bushings with OEM bushings. And then we also have a video installing SPC control arms on a 3rd Gen 4Runner. So we'll link all 3 of those videos in the video description if you want to renew your polyurethane bushings as part of this job.
So the reason why we're replacing my polyurethane bushings on here was because one of the times I came to grease my control arms, this bushing here pushed out with the force of the grease. I didn't know that you were supposed to loosen your control arm bolt just a little bit to allow the grease to flow where it should to stop that from happening. So that is the reason why we're replacing my bushings.
All right, we've got the bushings replaced on the control arms. Now we're going to get the control arm reconnected to the knuckle with the bolt and the alignment spacers.
Alignment spacer. So we're going to have to rotate the ball joint a little bit.
So you saw what Mark did. If the Uniball isn't at the proper angle to slide into the knuckle, then you have to just manipulate it a little bit. You could lubricate it with a Teflon-based spray like Tri-Flow is a good one. Now he's just got to get the washer and the nut on at the bottom. So we've got the nut and the washers on, and then we're just going to tighten this by feel. But if you want a torque spec, just use the torque value that your particular upper control arm manufacturer suggests for this bolt and nut combo. All right, we've got the tires back on, torque to the spec that we like, which is 85 foot-pounds, and we're done with the job. As you saw, we were able to successfully use that very affordable press sleeve kit to do the same job that that custom tool can do. So the money, in my opinion, is better spent on the press sleeve kit because you can just do so much more with it rather than that very specific tool just for doing Uniballs. But it's up to you which one you buy. With all that said, we thank you for watching Toy at a Time with Timmy the Toolman and Sean and special guest Mark. Thank you for watching. Thank you for subscribing. If you haven't subscribed yet, I don't know what the hell you're waiting for. Click that subscribe button and also click on that notification bell if you'd like to be notified when we put up new content on our channel, which we are always putting up very helpful and cool and informative content on our channel. Peace out, happy wrenching, sick mods, and sick Uniball replacements on your aftermarket upper control arms. Bye-bye.